So I asked, will the rest of the world ever forgive us for electing someone like Donald Trump? Japan. Not a chance. Trump is just the symptom. From now on, any long term deal with the United States needs a moron premium in case you elect someone even worse in the future. Netherlands. It's not just Trump. There are 75 million of him that can't be trusted. It will take generations if it is ever restored. France. It's not so much just the election, it's everything that wasn't done to stop him. The United States is lawless. Owie. Remember that the question was, would the world forgive us? Great Britain says, sure, as quick as the rest of the world forgave Germany in 1941. France. US today reminds one of the crumbling empires before the world wars. Arrogant, deaf to the world's anger, convinced of their own invincibility. History doesn't lie. Empires fall, and it's never the outsiders who bring them down first. It's the rot inside. America should stop blaming everyone else and start taking a long, hard look in the mirror.
Some of us came from close out of cavalry. Some people are stand up and rise. Some people are sit and cry.
What's happening? Trump is not the problem. He's just a symptom. I think when it comes to political talk, sometimes we put a lot on who's in office, but the truth is, it's the people that voted him in office that they represent, and a lot of the times we blame the wrong person, and these other people are like, no, we have an issue with America not because of Trump, but it's because not necessarily you voted for him. It's that the behavior you guys enabled and co-signed was your behavior. You get what I mean? And this is why um, this goes on anywhere anyway. If you voted for Biden, there's a stereotype that goes with that. If you voted for Trump the first time, there's a stereotype that goes with that. If you voted with Obama, there's a stereotype that goes with that. If you voted for Bush, there's a stereotype that went with that. If you voted for Clinton, there's a stereotype that went with that. Um, the issue is, can a, can the other demographic of America that didn't vote the way that you voted when whoever you voted for won, can they look at America and go, I can deal with this? And can the world look at America and go, yeah, I could deal with this? It's some things I like, some things I don't like. I could deal with this. What this is now is, and this has happened before, where people in America and people outside of America go, I can't deal with these fools right now. No, they're out of pocket. And it's not just because the president, quote unquote, is out of pocket. It's because people wanted the president to be out of pocket because it was a representation of them and how they felt like the country should go and how the country should operate. And what I'm gonna say is, in some aspects, they are right and understandable. They wanted tougher borders. I get it. You get what I'm saying? I get it. They wanted us to kind of back off of this foreign policy and being controlled by foreign, not controlled, but being too overly influenced by foreign entities in America. I definitely get it. But the problem is, part of y'all voted for capitalism in the sense of anybody can be bought. And what winds up happening is you look like you're in a position where the person that you voted for can be bought. And on one end, it's like, hey, we making money. It's capitalism. On another end, it's like, this is sabotage. This is hella sabotage. So now, can America be trusted? Whatever. Going backwards, like I said, Trump is not the problem. He's a symptom. In a general sense, generally the presidents come from well-to-do families. Uh, some of them the vast majority have questionable backgrounds. their family or them, they have like things that we got to look past and overlook. Sometimes it's their family, sometimes it's their character flaw, and more times than not, the president of America wasn't a good president. More times than that. So we kind of know the program, and more times than not, the president is out of touch with. Generally, they're out of touch with the vast majority of America because of classism. You know, see, people forget. You know, people forget when George Bush Senior. One of the things that lost him the election to Bill Clinton was him being out of touch with just common everyday Americans. That was a thing back then. You get what I'm saying? So it's still today. It was this way the whole time. It's like aristocrats are in quote unquote power. And I say that to say this. A lot of the times your politicians don't know what's best for the regular everyday American because they're far removed from the regular everyday American. They don't care. That's not their life. That's not their lifestyle. Some of these people came from humble beginnings, but they're so far removed from it that they don't. They're not. If I can make it, you can make it, type of thing. And they forget that there were programs in place for them to help them along the way. That's the hypocritical part of quote unquote American politics. Is even people who came from that will close the door on the very thing that they came from. So that's why I'm saying Trump is a symptom. He's not the problem. You know, you got the money in politics, and the irony of, if I'm not mistaken, he used his own money in the beginning, and basically at this point, used his own money to make himself a billion, a multiple billions, while he's in office. Like, hey, I'm gonna get my money back and then some. And has told America prior that, like, yo, it's not my fault y'all made the rules like this. I'm just taking advantage of them. And what you have is a situation where people want to take advantage of the rules, but they just don't have the capacity to do so. Whether it be financially or they don't have the quote unquote connections and backing to pull some of these stunts. So it's not just like, oh, it's just the Trump and the Trump era. The president gets the era. It's the Trump era because he's the president right now. So the era is of a group of people who wanted America to be a certain way, but they're blind to the blatant not hypocrisy of what they want, or they're blind to the consequences of what they want, even if the consequences affected them, because they assumed they wanted America to be a certain way to benefit them, and they were going to take no losses. And in general, they took a gang of losses, and now they're crying about what they said they wanted. And now you got the world looking at people like, why y'all? And I should have said this earlier. What it looks like is just like when people were talking about Obama, and he could have did a lot more, but he was worried about frivolous stuff. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like. It's the same thing with Trump. It's, let's worry about, let me change the word, the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Let's posture and do this and do that. And let's lie and say we got deals that we don't have. And it's like, let's pivot from Epstein to this. And it's like, yeah, man, it's just a dog and, smoke and mirrors, a dog and pony show. And the world is like, oh, this is a symptom of what America is. And it's like, yeah, like, okay. That's why I said he's not the problem. He's just a symptom. And people don't want, and what people do is they go on these rants, and America looks at America. America looks at what's going on in America from within, and other countries look at America, what's going on at what's going on from America from where they're looking. And then when a new president comes in, people act like, oh, it didn't exist no more. Let's move on. And the remnants of it is still there, and it keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. So, like I said, he's not the problem, he's the symptom. Because this type of stupid shit is gonna happen again. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Tell me what you think. Catch you on the next one. Peace.